Amoral Minds. I'm your host, RJ Roger. And what we're going to talk about today is YNG Cheese. He's an up-and-coming rapper. He was shot dead in Olney, Philadelphia. He's the son of popular podcaster and former rapper himself, Gillie the Kid.
Police are trying to piece together what led to a shooting in Olney that left one man dead, two other people injured. It happened around 8:30 tonight at Masher Street and Nadro Avenue in Olney. Police say a 25-year-old man was killed. Two other men are in stable condition. No one was arrested.
There's a long history of rappers being killed in this country. Kind of goes back to the foundation of hip-hop. Many major artists, even at the height of their career, were gunned down in the streets. Tupac Shakur, Biggie Smalls, Big L, Jam Master Jay, Soulja Slim, Proof, Nipsey Hussle, Pop Smoke, and there's a long list of rappers that I didn't even name. Why is this so common just in hip-hop culture? Why don't we see headlines such as Taylor Swift, top country act in the country, gunned down in the streets? Justin Timberlake, shot 6 times in the head and chest, rushed to the hospital, pronounced dead. Britney Spears gunned down while hanging out with her friends having a glass of wine. Beyonce knows. Ed Sheeran, dead. Whatever, right? Why are we not seeing headlines about rhythm and blues musicians, country acts? Why is it always a rapper that's being killed? The culture of hip-hop is undeniably a contributing factor to why so many of its artists are routinely involved in violence or killed. It is death music. I heard Mace say about Puff Daddy in a recent diss track, Oracle Part 2. He says, "You're not an architect, you're just a nigga that know how to market death."
You ain't an architect, you just a nigga know how to market death. Don't pay his mother what she really worth, nigga.
Hip-hop is death music. It markets death. It is destructive, and it promotes the lowest of human existence. And frankly, 95% of it is toxic. If you go on to the hip-hop charts right now and you look at the top R&B and hip-hop tracks in the country, the top 5 hip-hop songs in the country right now, all of them promote in some way, shape, or form the use of drugs, sex, and violence. When I listen to songs like Cardi B, WAP, Wet Ass Pussy, Kanye West, and I want to say Lil Pump, You're Such a Fucking Hoe, I Love It, repeated over and over again. Go on World Star Hip Hop. Tell me if the culture of hip hop, what message is World Star trying to show to the world? Promoting to black people, to black culture, to urban America. What is the feeling that you're getting after spending an hour on World Star Hip Hop?
I want to feel like it's raining on me, okay?
Culturally, hip hop is creating a generation of people that have misguided values, misguided ideals, and misguided ways of seeing the world. My advice, go home, get off the streets, find new interest. So some of the commentary that has been coming in on the death of YNG Cheese is largely being directed at YNG Cheese's father. People are saying, how does this happen? Gillie has so much money. He's very wealthy. Gillie's very rich. He has the ability to move his son out of the hood and XYZ. And I think in many ways it's unfair to say, even the thought, the theory that having money can change where a person's at, okay? What you have in your pocket has no influence on where you will hang out, okay? The kind of people you find interesting. It's actually what you have in your head that determines where you hang out, what you find interesting. So rich isn't money. Rich is information. Wallo, I would argue, is one of the wealthiest men in Philadelphia. Why? Because Wallo has information. Information is only as valuable as information applied. You can have all the information in the world. If you don't apply it, if you don't use it, It's like not having any information at all. Gillie's money can't buy mindset. Money doesn't buy mindset. We need not a bag of money. What we need culturally is a bag of information. New ways of seeing the world. Not continuing to believe that your value is purchased by a diamond chain, by throwing money in the air and making it rain and drinking and doing drugs and popping Molly. So the big question is, why was Young Cheese hanging out in the only section of Philadelphia? North Philadelphia. This is a tough neighborhood. A lot of assaults, robberies, shootings, murders routinely happen there. Why was he there? You can be in the only section of Philadelphia and have a father worth tens of millions when you are hip-hop culture influenced. A culture that respects silly things like street credibility. Street cred. I heard Charles Barkley talk about this. We are one of the only cultures that credibility in the streets is valuable. I was around many people, and I was one of them myself. When you're smart coming up in urban environments, when you pay attention in class, when you speak cleanly, when you write clearly, when you don't use made up words and things like that, slang, you're looked at like a good boy, college boy. Doing the right thing can be looked at as doing the wrong thing, and doing the wrong thing can be looked at as doing the right thing in many urban neighborhoods because the information is the wrong information. It also teaches consumption. Consume. Take what you own and get rid of it to buy something that keeps you further enslaved. Buy a Gucci belt. Buy some Yeezys, the new Jordans. Crazy things like that, where you're living in the worst type of situation, but you look really nice while you're inside of it. It's a bad concept. Bitches. That's another good one. Let's get some bitches. Let's commit violence. Let's listen to mind-numbing, brain cell-killing music that says things like having sex with your Gucci flip-flops on, that promotes things like, I got two bad bitches at the same damn time, because that's helpful for getting out of the hood. That's helpful for creating a better environment, a safe environment, an academic environment, an environment that people can thrive in. I listened to a lot of Young Cheese's music. I honestly didn't know who he was until I heard that he was killed. And so I looked into him, and he's actually a fairly talented guy. He probably would have had a promising career as a rapper. But the music promotes violence. It has music videos online that depict drive-by shootings, flashing guns, half-naked women, throwing money all over the place. The music that he was making promotes a lot of the things that I'm talking about in this show today.
Real niggas, fake niggas, what's the difference? Niggas say that they all real. Rat niggas, snake niggas, keep it on me cause they say that they all kill. Bottom line, run it up, trap niggas.
So I'm not using this show as a criticism on Young Cheese or on his father. I'm using this unfortunate, terrible situation to shine light on a broader subject, that the things that are happening by the leaders of our community are actually stymieing the growth of our community. We can't keep pretending that this music and this culture that has been created from the music is helpful. It's not helpful to have women on Instagram bragging about getting golden showers, having men pee on them, men boasting about the number of women that they have, and having women perform some of the most terrible sex acts. We can't pretend that what we see on World Star Hip Hop is a benefit to anybody but the owners of the website. The people who own World Star are enriching themselves. The people who watch World Star are placing themselves in a deep level of mental poverty. And we can't pretend anymore that this culture is helpful. And the people within it, the top entertainers, the people who have influence in it, the truth is, they all need to come together. People need to step up and say, what are we teaching young people? When you look at hip hop and how we represent ourselves, as a black man, as a culture, I want to say, hip hop is not a black thing, it's a cultural thing. But when you look at how hip hop as a culture, not even musically, but as a culture, hip hop culture, when you look at how we are represented on VH1, on shows like Love and Hip Hop, on TikTok, social media platforms, YouTube, anywhere that our culture has exposure, are you proud of what you're seeing? Are we proud of what we're seeing a whole generation of kids turn into? Are we proud of seeing kids that live in deep poverty walking with $400 Yeezy shoes on, $400 Jordans on, but they have no money to even eat with, no money to even buy a textbook with? Are we proud of what we're doing culturally? There's a concept in my book that I continuously talk about. Cooking pot. Cooking pot is a ball and chain to people that make it out. I say this all the time. A lot of the information in the cooking pot. Cooking pot can be very beneficial to some people. It was beneficial to people like Jay-Z. It was beneficial to people like Puff Daddy. It was beneficial to people like Russell Simmons and a host of other people who have really done great things with their careers and their lives. But there are so many people that come out of hip hop culture that was so close or even out. Talked about this when I mentioned Dame Dash. The cooking pot pulled Damon back in. The cooking pot pulls many of us back in because we can't let it go. Cooking pot is information received, but it's information that is fake. It is non-valued information. Do not value street credibility. It makes no sense in the real world where people think more logically, more realistically. I heard Kareem Biggs Burk, former owner of Rocafella Records, partner with Jay-Z and Damon Dash. And he said one day he was talking to someone and the person said to him, he was almost bragging about this club he used to go to, that you can't go to this club without having a gun. And he never walked in this club without having a gun because it was such a violent place. But he would go all the time. He would frequent this club a lot. And the person he was talking to from a different culture just very quietly said, well, why would you go to a club that you have to carry a gun to be safe there? Why not just not go to the club at all? And Kareem said, I never thought of that. And that's what I mean by the cooking pot. The information. We think with a certain pride, a certain toughness, street cred. I'm not afraid to go in that club. No one's going to keep me out. But the nonsense that you're going to deal with inside of there is not worth it. We need to redefine what it means to be a tough guy. It has been hijacked by stupidity. Being tough means I'm not afraid to go into a violent place. That's not tough. That's stupid. Okay? Tough is perseverance. Tough is Wallo, a guy that had a plan, that was tough-minded, came out, fought to see it through, to create $100 million worth of game. What do you guys think? I'm RJ Roger. This is Amoral Minds. I got a great book coming out, The Don. It'll be in stores soon. Please support the book when it hits stores. Peace and love, and I'll see you next week.